T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk. My name is TK Trinidad. You are currently watching WWT live. Ooh, I don't know about y'all. I've been talking to a few people. I've been sick as a dog all week. I think there's something going around, so please comment in the comments. Make sure it's not just me, because I usually am not sick this long, this often. Anywho, back to the regular scheduled program. We are getting into the news today, and we have a lot to talk about. I need to come up with an official name. I want to say the closer, but I don't know. Well, something's gonna come. But Kay McCoy's in the building. How you doing? How you doing?
Gang, we out here. You know, some people call me a hipster, blipster, dramedy. Other synonyms include annoying AF. So, you know,
that one I can definitely see.
You co-sign that. Shouts to TK out here with the Jordan flu game right now. You know what I'm saying? Playing injured, playing sick, about to put up 63. Easy out here. Well, young Pippin is here for me.
There it is. It's ooh, yeah, the game don't stop. People still call. So let's get this. Another thing that the game don't stop. I feel like this company is a smaller version of Impact Wrestling. So follow me here. What I mean by that is that you know, you have the heavy hitters. You have, you know, WWE, of course. You have AEW, but Impact is like, I don't know why people count Impact out. Like, Impact has been around. They have great content. People need to put some respect on Impact's name. However, this company, they're making a lot of moves as well. And I feel like they're going to come to the level of that. So what's that story we're going to go with?
Yes. MLW, Major League Wrestling. You remember it was founded in Philly back in 2002 by former WWE writer Court Byer. It kind of went away for a little bit, but it came back in July 2017, where it's been getting busy ever since, having deals here and there, working with other companies here and there, even having a situation where they were going to have some run on Vice. But that was, according to a lawsuit filed by MLW, blocked by the WWE. But one network does not stop the show. They're streaming. There's multiple platforms. And with that, they just recently announced that on July 8th, this past Friday, they're going to start being on BN Sports USA. I call it BN or BN, however you want to say it, Sports USA. So make sure you stream that. That's on Pluto. That's all on the OTT channels, Friday nights at 10 p.m. and on demand. And with that announcement, TK, they followed up with new merch alert. Earlier today, they announced that they're going to be sold merchandise at Hot Topic. Comicbook.com was the first to report those details, but they're available. They have merch available right now on the Hot Topic website, and they got shirts and gears from Alex Hammerstone, one of my favorites. We talked about him yesterday on the show. Jacob Fatu is going to be on there. Our girl She's been on here on WWT multiple times. Taya Valkyrie's there, the Von Erichs, nice. Gangrel, and so many more. I think Taya just got another title. I think she just won the title in MLW as well. So make sure you buy some championship gear as well. She won the women's featherweight championship a while back. So they're gonna have some gear in Hot Topic, man. So shouts to Hot Topic for being for the culture of what's going on with wrestling, and you can buy gear there. So not worry about going on the websites. You know, back in my day, we used to go to some place called the mall, so you can go to the mall and make an in-store purchase as well. So shouts to MLW, keep on making it do what it do.
Yes. Yes. Also, yes, Nikki, I know somebody else did tweet that when they did the report, we should do an article on it then. When you did the report,
was there a show Sunday?
Yeah, we did have a show on Sunday.
All right, I want to make sure I wasn't there. Clearly,
we have several shows, Kane. But
yeah, I know. I'm saying about it. WWT Live.
I believe it's no. WWT is Monday to Thursday. We ain't doing additional shows.
So but new audience. Here we are.
New audience. So Nikki did talk about that. So maybe we could do a write up on that. But next, well, with MLW, what kind of going back to what I originally said was that I think they're building up their women's, because I remember talking to, oh dang it, I forgot her name. She was the announcer for MLW, and she came on the show, and they were in the midst of building up their women's division. So it looks like they're slowly trying to build that. And I feel like once they kind of get both sides great, like I feel like they're gonna be on the level of Impact or getting there, I would say. Legitimate, like, because when people, I think with MLW, people kind of almost forget about them, because when I think of promotions, like I think of Shine, I think of Impact, ROH, and I often do forget about MLW. And they are putting in a lot of work. Shout out to their press release team. They send us stuff all the time. So I think the consistency is going to pay off. So congratulations to them for sure.
Yeah. Alicia, right? You're talking about Alicia?
Yes. Yeah.
Alicia, who was over in AEW for a little bit, and now she's getting busy here in MLW. So shout out to Alicia as well.
Yeah.
Send us some gear.
Saying I have way too. I literally have 3 closets in my house, and I need to get rid of I don't need any more. I need to get rid of clothes before I take more clothes in.
Sounds like we just launched TK's wrestling store selling vintage wrestling gear. We're gonna jot that down. We're gonna link for that.
Like I'm literally looking at like a full closet of clothing I don't even wear. I wear the same 6 things. Anywho, let's go to Hollywood, since we're in Hollywood, which I kind of found weird. Like I know why WWE did this, but WrestleMania is not gonna be in Hollywood. It's gonna be in California, but it's not gonna be in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's technically in Inglewood, mother effer.
Yeah.
It's in Inglewood. Yeah. But I always like how people put like Hollywood, like it's gonna be in Inglewood.
Yeah, so they made the announcement that you could be purchasing the tickets. Yes. I think it's August 12th.
Yes, Friday, August 12th
will be available. So it is. I wonder why the play on words. Is it more to draw more people in? I don't know. I just kind of feel like you need to put some respect on Inglewood's name, but you know, it is what it is.
On Iwood, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, Inglewood's literally, for those who don't know, it's literally its own separate place. Like, there's its own mayor and everything. Like, Inglewood is completely separate. So, but Inglewood up to some good, up to a lot of good with these tickets going on. WrestleMania Hollywood, I mean, 8 months away, they're selling tickets. That's like hella early for them to be doing that. I was looking at this poster, however, very interesting. Brock Lesnar's on there. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't think this means we get Brock Roman, but I do believe Brock Lesnar will be involved in WrestleMania in some sort of fashion. And let's be honest, they can't do Brock Roman because those tickets going on sale, no one's going to buy it because we've seen them enough. So obviously, I think this will lead to Rock and Roman once the official posters come out and when we get there and whatnot. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, Brock. Okay. All right. We pushing that. He going to be there. Probably against John Cena. Maybe. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting. So tickets on sale. Yeah.
Tickets do go on sale. We have been I've been kind of, well, for you guys who haven't been following me for a long time, I've, always been following The Rock, and literally we could have done a story on The Rock every single day this week. there has been some version of a story on The Rock. And I feel like now is the perfect time to go into a mini tangent because we don't have any other hosts coming on today. So do you think that The Rock is going to make it's in his backyard, kind of, sort of, because he has several houses all over the US, but he is in California filming sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of in his backyard. Do you think that he's going to make a WrestleMania appearance?
This is the match. This is where it's going to happen. This is what we've been waiting for. It was delayed. We got to move up to it. Of course, there's rumors going around that The Rock is basically telling people that he will not be available from January 2023 and on, which kind of leads you to believe that he will be wrestling his cousin, his Uso Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Hollywood. And also the fact that if you've seen an episode of Young Rock, Roman Reigns or Dwayne's or Dewey's cousin Joe makes an appearance in Young Rock, and they speak about one day fighting at WrestleMania. Go look that up. That's the real actual clip. If you have Peacock, I think it's even on the free version, so you don't have to pay $9.99 additional for it. But you can watch that clip. And Young Joe is in Young Rock with his cousin Dewey, and he talk about wrestling at WrestleMania. So a little Easter egg was right there to get people hyped up to buy. So I think that this is what in the anticipation is. They kind of want to get it early. They're kind of telling you without telling you, hey, you might want to start buying your tickets now because this will be the biggest WrestleMania ever. I don't know what's the synonym for stupendous, but it's going to be super stupendous. It's going to be more stupendous than the last stupendous WrestleMania. So tickets go available Friday, August 12th. I'm going to buy mine. And you know what I'm going to buy mine with, TK? You know I'm going to buy it? You know I'm going to buy it?
You definitely need to get some money for this. Go ahead.
You know I'm going to buy it. You know I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it using my WWE Credit One Bank Superstar card. You know, get these points up. I'm going to lay at the SmackDown, not my credit score down, when purchasing my WrestleMania tickets using my WWE Superstar credit card.
I swear, Credit One doesn't. Was it Credit One? Capital One? They don't hit us up.
It's Credit One. Credit One. We Credit One.
If they don't hit us up for that free promo, we have Ron saying that he's making his way to his first Mania. It's crazy because what people understand is that, and I hope people figure this out. So I'm going to give you, for people who are not familiar with LA and Hollywood, as to where Inglewood is, as to where WrestleMania is going to be. You're thinking California, thinking LA, you want to do Hollywood, you want to do all that stuff. Inglewood is quite a ways away from Hollywood. You're going to need a car, or you're going to need a lot of money to do Uber, because the train system is a whole nother issue.
It's a metro in name only, as we know. It's a metro in name only.
So and then when you think of that stadium, what is really around there? It's more residential places that are around there, except for like Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and I love me some Roscoe's.
I mean, but, we got about 8 months for them to knock down the neighborhood and build up mixed use development, as they call it. Yeah. So we kind of see that in Inglewood, or as it's kind of been called now, I would. Even though I wouldn't call it that, because that makes you a tourist. You might get, a little jacked out here. So, really be careful how you're moving out there. It's going to be interesting because a lot of the events will probably be in Hollywood or downtown at the convention center. It's going to be very spread out. So if you plan on coming, make sure you get a rental. Like, start planning everything right now. We cannot stress that enough. I was just dealing with the Super Bowl, and I had some homies come in, and they were asleep. They were lacking. A lot of them were staying with me, and I was charging that ad too. You know what I'm saying? Greg, you played yourself, because a lot of things were downtown, but the Super Bowl happened at SoFi as well, which is, downtown to SoFi on a normal day is probably 30 minutes without traffic. So you add that traffic, you're looking at an hour plus. So, this is going to be interesting. This has the potential to be the biggest WrestleMania ever. You got to remember, Cody Rhodes should be healed by then. You know what I mean? We're going to see what happens with Theory and his push. We're going to see what happens if we can have, the crowning of the ultimate culmination of Bianca. What happens with Becky? Notice I was Becky and Bianca on the poster, by the way. So you got these big stars here. So we're excited, man. WrestleMania season early out here. Yeah, it's like Christmas in July.
JD is saying, isn't every WrestleMania the best one ever? I mean, yeah, but I feel like, when Emily's out in Texas, I feel like when it's now, and I've been here for a period of time, but LA's like my home. My adulthood has been in California. And so when it's, now in your backyard and you don't have to book a plane ticket and all this other stuff, it's like, it's going to be, and then you have Hollywood. Like the reason, like we know why it's doing Hollywood, like everything Hollywood-esque is here. So you're going to have a lot more mainstream media because they don't have to fly their crew out to anywhere. They can literally just send them in. Everybody's already here. The major hubs, ABC, CBS, NBC, they all have major hubs here. Entertainment Tonight, Extra, all that stuff is like here. Yeah, all that stuff is here. So it's gonna be absolutely crazy.
And this is gonna be a destination WrestleMania. Like no disrespect to Dallas or Tampa or Nolans. This is Hollywood, baby. This is something special. No one grows up and says, man, I can't wait to move to Dallas to make my dreams come true. Or I can't wait to move to Tampa to make my dreams come true. You go there for vacation, you get lit, you go to Disneyland, or you go get some barbecue or whatever, or see who shot JR for all the Dallas TV show people out there. But this is Hollywood, baby. Glitz, glamour, homeless people who would be swept up and you'll never see them. Like they did the Super Bowl. They got rid of all the homeless people. You'll never see that. They're going to clean all the poo off the sidewalks and everything for WrestleMania. It's been since WrestleMania 21. Since WrestleMania 21 goes Hollywood. So we're looking at it almost generations past since the last WrestleMania has been in Los Angeles, So it's going to be exciting to see what goes down.
It definitely is.
That looked weird.
What the rock?
I mean, if he doesn't show up, then it's just don't. This is what I'm saying to The Rock. Like, I'm tired of you teasing us because you have been teasing us. You and WWE have been teasing us for years and some change now. And if you don't show up to this dance, like, don't come back. Like it's we good.
Dwayne's in Hollywood. This is his wrestling. His Hollywood and wrestling. So some might say that Dwayne Johnson's caught between a rock and a hard place.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, to the next story. WWE. This is quite an interesting story. So according to Andrew Zazarian, I believe it is, starting July 18th, WWE Raw will have a TV-14 rating moving forward on USA Network. Well, somebody loved your pun. There you go, Kane.
Thank you, Quan.
It's kind of funny because when this dropped, so we have a group chat in the morning and with all the other hosts for WWT Live, and it dropped in the chat. I believe Patricia might have dropped in the chat, and it was just this tweet with no link to an article, nothing. And when we go and look, because both Kane and I come from journalist backgrounds, when you go and look, the first thing you want to look is where the source is, and there's no source. And then when we look at other articles talking about this, the source goes back to this tweet.
That's the tweet, yeah. He's blue checked. He's blue checked up. Blue checked up on a Thursday. Writes for FV4 or FW Online. He's been credited in most of the officials. So I want this to be the case. I want this to happen. I'm very excited, and I think it's once again Vince McMahon and company working ahead, thinking ahead. Look, they're looking at Wednesday nights on TNT. They're looking at, they used to look at Wednesday nights on TNT. Now they're looking at Wednesday nights on TBS, and then Friday nights on TNT. And look at what AEW's got going on, and it's basically unfiltered, uncensored. So many S-bombs and. Khan being called an effing Mark live and through the
I saw feed. That was like crazy.
It was live, didn't hear it. So WWE's looking at it like, hey man, we're on basic cable too. Like why aren't we getting all this out? And I think this runs back to another shift. whether we know it or not, we are entering another era in WWE. We are officially in the post-John Cena era. June 27th Raw was deeper than what we think it was. There is a reason why Theory was the guy looking at Cena, okay? Because Theory's going to be the next guy, you know what I mean? And we see that
building him to be for sure.
Exactly. And we got to take it back to, because we're lifelong wrestling fans. You know, the kids who grew up on that rock and roll wrestling era, Hulk Hogan and all of this whatnot, we were older. We became teenagers when ECW came out, and all that cartoonish stuff just didn't work with us anymore. And WWE saw that and was like, we got to get like ECW. And hence the Attitude Era comes, where we're all teenagers and it's just reckless people and who wants to see violence, unhinged violence. And then eventually that kind of comes and goes, and we're, you know, kind of getting older. So now it's like, we need to go back to the kids.
Yeah,
hence Cena coming, Super Cena. We got Cena, Doctor of Thugonomics. It was kind of for us, and then he kind of becomes Super Cena for the kids, and we have that PG era. And what the Attitude Era was only about 3-4 years. We've been in this PG era for almost like 11 years. So the rock and roll wrestling era to the new generation was only like, that was like 10-11 years. Attitude was about 4 years, but we've been in PG since 2008. So if you were, you know, 8 years old in 2008, you're an adult now. You're probably writing for Women's Wrestling Talk or similar publications. You grew up on this type of wrestling, and now you're looking for the next extreme because you've been seeing safe wrestling and kind of like, you know, PG era wrestling. And now here comes AEW, a different alternative that you can see, because these kids, these 20-year-olds these days, they never saw the Monday Night Wars. They never saw WWF and WCW and ECW go back and have these folks. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to see that now that we have actual competition. There's a true number 2 in AEW, or there's a true competition going on. So now this is WWE responding to that, TK.
And then also let's remember, you know, our partner Twitch, they're a major gaming network, and the games that kids are playing are way more extreme than we can see in any movie. Like, we see blood, guts, all this other stuff. So the stuff that they're seeing and they're watching via games and stuff like that versus what they're seeing on wrestling, it's tame. So, you know, to balance that out, I understand why they're doing it. I just don't understand I mean, again, I might not. Please let me know in the chat who Andrew is, how Andrew got this information.
You know his daddy. You know his mom.
Didn't write like an article to go with it, whatever. But like every other publication is quoting Andrew, so I guess kudos to Andrew. I hope it's correct. So we're saying unofficially because I need to see a statement from WWE, because WWE does like to do their statements sometimes. So
what does Andrew's grandma stay? Can anybody confirm where his grandma stay? You know what I mean? You know, we got to G-check this fool. No, but I think, you know, I don't think WWE even made an announcement when they were going to PG. Obviously, they had to get the F out campaign when they swapped names from WWF to WWE. But I think come July 18th, in the words of the great Aubrey Drake Graham, we gonna see. We gonna see.
That's all we can do.
So if Corey Graves is like, welcome to Monday Night Raw, you ish heads, then we'll have our answer. You know,
there it is.
Oh, all right, cool. Bet. Easy money.
And then also to go back to our last discussion, we did put out a tweet. So I like to reference these tweets or these polls that we put out. So we said how many people are planning on going to WrestleMania in Hollywood, and 50% of the people said they're going. Some 16.7% said maybe, 33.3% said no, and I have write in and nobody wrote anything in. So it looks like overall people are planning to make WrestleMania Hollywood their stop.
I mean, it's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling, TK. It's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. So we go back to back.
And there's so many things to do. You have Universal Studios. You have, you know, you could literally make a whole 2-week trip out of this. and go up and down the coast. So, you know, definitely.
And the events around too. Like, you know, there's going to be something going on with a super card of honor with ROH. You know, there's going to be something. I mean, you know, this is Young Bucks territory. So who knows if they're going to show up, like, doing anything like that? What's going to go on with, you know, NJPW Strong goes on here. So many, it's going to be like that's why I say it's going to be the greatest WrestleMania ever. Not only because what's going to happen Saturday and Sunday night, but the weeks leading up to it. You know, the Wale Mania is going to be big. Whatever West Side Gun's going to be big. Like, the interaction of pop culture and wrestling is at an all-time high anyway. So it's bound to burst and blow up anymore. And I just know we're going to see a 24/7 championship change at like Runyon Canyon or something. Like, R-Truth's going to be like on the Hollywood sign, pinning somebody on the H.
Like, or like Runyon Canyon or like Roscoe's or
the Culver City Stairs.
Yeah.
Like, someone's going to get pinned on the Culver City Stairs. Yeah. I can see that there right now. It's going to happen.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. And yeah, we'll see. I am working on some partnerships, so we'll see what happens. But that moves on to SummerSlam. So we did talk about the tryouts happening at SummerSlam, and they have announced a few athletes that are going to be there. So Ella was the one who wrote the article on this, and for I think is SE Scoops, and she pretty much just talked about how this is a very particular type of tryouts. It's going to be college athletes. You can actually go and pay and see. So kudos to WWE, you know, making that extra cash, multiple streams of income. So you can go and pay and see. And they announced a couple of their athletes, Darian.
Darian Galburn.
21, a 6-time All-American gymnast who competes for Auburn Gymnastics. She signed with WWE NIL deal this past June. Leanna Griffin, track and field star for Long Beach State University. She's named the Track Athlete of the Week. Yeah. For track Athlete of the Week, April 12th, 2022 by the Big West Org. So those are the first two. Leah Simone Mitchell, Michigan alum who competed for 5 years on the university's gymnastics team. Lamont McDougall, defensive lineman for the University of Texas. And then they said Biggie will join the WWE talent and recruitment team for the tryouts. He'll work alongside Triple H and the rest of the team to evaluate prospective WWE stars. So that's going to be what's happening in Nashville for the tryouts, which that in itself, seeing up and coming talent, like I've referenced this plenty of times when I got to see Bianca Belair when she was competing for the CrossFit regionals. And when I tell you that I already knew she was a star, she had outfit changes for because I MC CrossFit events. Yep. She had outfit changes for every event within this CrossFit competition. Like nobody else does that. And on top of that, CrossFit didn't have a lot of Black people. So she already stood out because she was Black. And then she just took it to another level. So it's really great to see new talent, especially when you get to see the talent that you're like, they're already there. Because when she signed with WWE, I already knew, like when all the stories was coming out about her lifting this amount and it was already there before she was even there. I could have called it. So I would pay to see tickets for this, because there's always gonna be one or two standouts where it's just like they're bar none, like sign them, and it's up to you, WWE, to screw it up. Like it's already there.
Yeah, big shouts to Mark Henry. You know, Mark Henry saw Bianca Belair and was like, "Yeah, she is her. She is her right there." So shouts to Mark Henry. He knew. And again, for these tryouts in Nashville, it's gonna be dope because you could say you were there. You were there when you heard their original name, and now whatever Wu-Tang name generator that Vince comes up with for their NXT name, which will probably change in the midst anyway. So don't get used to learning their real name. Just like enjoy their faces and enjoy what they do, because they're going to change anyway. So it's going to be interesting. And again, this is for college athletes. So, you know, it's been said, I think Uncle Dave mentioned that WWE has reached out to a few indie wrestlers about showing up, but we all know what time it is. Our watches are synchronized. Again, like I said yesterday, look at me, indie wrestlers. Indie wrestlers, look at me. See you in AEW. See you in ROH. See you in Impact. Because at the moment, Like, Vince is really focused on the WWE style. If you guys want to see wrestling, tune in Wednesday nights on TBS, Fridays on TNT.
Oh, and then
that's what
apparently Jay Dixon sent you out to Mark Henry's son, who squatted 600 pounds today. Well,
oh my God. I think his son's Jacob. I think I've seen Mark Henry tweet about his son a couple of times. So I look forward to see. Will Mark Henry's son end up in WWE, or will he go to AEW and feud with Hook, which is like the natural thing for Mark Henry and Taz's son to like just wrestle all over the place.
And JD. Excuse me, I told
JD Smith.
Good luck getting to the 2020. Look, as a person who squatted almost 400 pounds, I am not about that life anymore. And I wish somebody would have told me it's not that serious, because your body feels it years later, and it's just not fun. But celebrate in the excellence of young knees. So we have the tryouts, and then also let's move on to Sasha Banks. So we did a lot of talking on Sasha Banks last week, and I'm trying not to. There's a story about Sasha and Naomi about almost every day, but again, is it really a story, or is it like a Twitter post or Instagram post? But
it's like an update, and just
it's like I feel like you could do a Sasha, Naomi, and a Rock update every single day. Like I could literally pull a story for them every single day. However, I did want to make mention, and I think we did mention this earlier this week as well, that Sasha is going to be making appearances under her name Mercedes, but it's non-wrestling appearances. So it looks like that is coming down the pipes, and she's able to do non-wrestling appearances until January 1st. And then apparently after January 1st, she's able to do wrestling appearances. Sasha and WWE haven't made any type of statements about anything, nothing at all. It's just like everybody's going about their lives. I don't know if WWE is doing the thing that they often do, where it's like, now you see us, like now you see this, but you really don't see it type thing. I don't know if they expect us to forget it. I don't know if they feel like all the paperwork's been signed and the WWE universe can go and F themselves and y'all figure it out on your own eventually. I don't know what's happening, but Mercedes is going out there and making her money, and kudos to whoever her lawyer was or is, or however that transpired for her to make a non-wrestling appearance. But let's be honest, the reason why she can make the non-wrestling appearance is because of who she was as a wrestler. Like say, like if she didn't have her stint with WWE, then people wouldn't go and see her now. So it's whoever. What I would love to see what that contract looked like for her to, get that part out.
At this point, it's official that her lawyer is like Johnny Cochran's ghost or some sort, that type of situation. I think with this statement going out, this all but confirms that she has been released from her contract. There's just some legal wrangling they have to clear up, because she wouldn't be able to make any appearances. Because remember, WWE kind of has that edict where you can't make appearances just on your own while under contract. Remember, there was the big controversy with the Twitch and the wrestlers using their names. Yeah. They're the government names, of course, that's been kind of modified to, now they can have Twitch and whatnot just under their WWE names, because they want to cut everything. Because Vince feels like, hey, without me, you don't have anything. So I think by her being able to make these appearances, it shows that one foot's already out the door. At this point, we're going to see what's next. January 1st struck me as a very interesting date, because once again, what I'm hoping for, Wrestle Kingdom, January 4th or 5th, or whatever the third date's going to be, because they do usually 3 nights now. It used to be 1, now it's 2, and now it's 3. But this really makes me believe that we will see Sasha or Mercedes in JPW in some sort of fashion, because that January 1st date really struck me. It's kind of like, ooh. And who knows if it will come out that she's been released sooner than that. And if she could make appearances to hype up a potential dream match against Kari or against somebody via like a Stardom in JPW event at Wrestle Kingdom. So I think all eyes are leading to that. I don't think we're going to see Sasha or Mercedes wrestle on American television for a while. I think we're going to be up at 2 a.m. watching some Joshi.
I think. And then the thing too is, Paige just got released. Was it last Thursday? And she hadn't wrestled in forever. And we had been talking about Paige getting released, or she's kind of sort of released for, I don't know, it may have been like 2 years. So it is really, it's, I mean, yeah, I think everybody has different contracts, and whatever contract Mercedes signed in the latter part of her career, like kudos on them, because not everybody gets that, whether it is your name, your given name, or the WWE name, because you can sign a contract where they can essentially make money off of your likeness, everything about you, and you go away with nothing. So the fact that she can still go and make, money, and people know who she is, all this other stuff, like she has that for, for life. So that's a contract thing, because you can definitely sign a contract where it doesn't go your way. So kudos to her for that. I believe she's going to be at
C2E2.
Yeah, the Comic-Con in August, and they still refer to her as the boss. Like, I feel like it's almost like what's his name, Prince,
and the symbol
Harry, Prince Harry. They got stripped of their names, but they still call him Prince Harry. Like, I feel like she's still gonna be referred to as the boss for a long time.
Yeah, take that with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, BAB, boss ass bitch out here making it do what it do. Also, I love, like, in related news, that Sasha and Bailey were at Disney World just hanging out.
Yeah, that was like a week or two ago. But yeah, I mean, they're living their best lives. Yeah, they're living their best life. Why not? I feel like I have the picture somewhere here. Oh, here we go. I'll pull up a picture for y'all just in case you did miss it. But they're living their best lives, and
Mercedes got free tickets too. She's in a Disney production, so she probably got like comp tickets. She probably get tickets for the low ski, just give them for free.
And another thing too is that oh dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. Here it is. Kudos to them for that. Yeah, there we go. But live your best life and make your money. Like, that's all you can really say. So I guess congratulations on that, because doing a Comic-Con, that's not change. She living her best life.
That's not for the faint. Like, you just, not anybody is doing Comic-Con. By the way, speaking of living their best life, shouts to Naomi in that tweet. Out of respect.
Wait, in which tweet?
That's all I'm gonna say. The tweet.
In which tweet?
It's a certain tweet about or a TikTok or an Instagram about just living their best life.
Oh yeah, Naomi's been subtly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, we might as well we could almost put it all together in one day. Naomi's been dropping like a post every single day, and I'm
gonna just watch my words, because I don't know which Uso is which Uso. So if I just see one of them, I'm running. So I don't know which one is which and which one's married to which one. So I'm just like, oh snap, there's two of you.
Oh goodness, they're very nice. But to finish up, to round out our day,
speaking of tag teams,
I know.
Speaking of tag teams, yes, man, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland last night. TK, we'll talk about a swerve. We didn't see that coming. They are our new AEW World Tag Team Champions in an absolute banger last night. Triple threat match between Team Taz, Ricky Starks, and Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, which soon, TK, you need to figure out, get some gold around those guys. And champions, the Young Bucks. Great match. Crowd popped heavy. I screamed. I was like, oh, snap! I didn't expect that. So they are your new tag team champions, TK.
They are, and he had quite a speech. I won't play all of it. I'll play a little bit for you guys. A dedication speech. I think this is it. There we go.
I thank you all so very much. Swerve, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm not going to take up a bunch of time. I know y'all are waiting on Rampage, but I have to talk about this. I only have 3 people in my world that I consider to be extremely close to me. One of them I've known for about 2.5 decades. Now I know what y'all thinking. God damn, Keith, you old as shit, ain't you?
I'll leave. I'll leave the rest there because I don't want any copyright issues with YouTube. But
TK will smack us. The other TK, Tony Khan will hit us with that DMCA.
Yeah, Tony
but
Khan,
he spoke about
WWT.
Yeah, but he spoke about his homie, Lucius King.
2 of them.
And he said that, you know, if his homie has cancer, and he spoke about his life and almost passing away. And then to another buddy named JD Griffin, is just spoke about his brothers, and Keith Lee kind of alluded to that in a couple of tweets when he said, you know, he's doing it for the homies tonight. So I'm happy Keith Lee was able to get some gold. Shouts to Swerve getting some gold as well. Tag team champs is going to be interesting to see what happens. I hope this doesn't lead to a quick run and just having the Young Bucks be tag champs again going into All Out. I'd much rather have Swerve and Our Glory go into All Out as champions. But can we get a new name? I've been calling them Strictly Business. I think Strictly Business is just because Swerve the Business. I think that's a way doper name. So, like, Strictly Business. I've been calling that. But Swerve and Our Glory is cool, but it kind of sounds like I need to be on, like, Google Incognito whenever I type them in. I have to, like, erase my browser history.
It is interesting. On the I don't know, I guess it's like the Black Twitter for wrestling. You know, there were comments like, okay, well, you guys got your black wrestlers as tag teams now, pretty much kind of like shut up. And you know, there was a lot of back and forth people. Yeah, it's I should.
Why is wrestling so racist, bro? Oh my god, there's so many like white Nick Bear dudes who are living like
a lot.
Waterloo, Iowa, or something, and just thinks like, you know, Greg the Hammer Valentine should win all the belts or something like that. Like, you know, contrary to popular belief, the only reason why wrestling is even like popping in the culture is kind of because of like, you know, those with melanin have kind of taken it outside of the wrestling sphere and taking it to something serious. We saw G Money Gerard talk about this yesterday with Lil Scrappy and what they're doing with the Terminus spinoff, and he's wrestling, and even before that with like UWF and kind of having like that hip hop meets wrestling type of vibe, and just making it dope to be a wrestling fan, and actually people who watch wrestling that actually shower as well and have good hygiene. Because I've been to a few AEW shows and y'all be funky in there. Y'all really need to wash some of the mustard, wash all of them arms.
I feel like I need to put a disclaimer before we start the show when you come on. But I think what's happening too. I think what's happening too is at this point, you know, when wrestling 20 years ago, it wasn't as inclusive, and it's not necessarily as inclusive now, but we're seeing way more people of color and women in various places than it was 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's one of those things, but now we have those promotions where it's not necessarily like all black promotions, but you know, there's more black.
There's a level of actual representation of who watches wrestling. Back in the 80s, there was the big rock and roll stuff, or in the 90s, everything was metal or new metal. But now it's coming across that, hey, black folk watch this and we listen to hip hop. Can we get some of that in there? Right. I mean, for God's sake, Swerve Strickland won a tag team championship with a grill in his mouth last night. He had the ill grill in his mouth. How dope is that? Like, that's incredible. Like, for years and years, we've had to watch, you know, dudes with horrible mullets and like, you know, large belt buckles win.
Horrible mullets.
You know what I mean? It was just like, word up. Like, well, like we watch it too. And when we got, you know, our hairstyles and our culture is involved in wrestling, and we could just be it, like without having to be a stereotype of it or a caricature of it. We could just be it and just have good damn matches and wrestle. Like Swerve Strickland is an amazing wrestler. Keith Lee is an amazing wrestler. The Street Profits are amazing wrestlers, you know what I'm saying? JD Smith says, yeah, but it was the George Foreman girl. Let me tell you something. 10 years ago, Crime Time would have been forced to wear the grill around their neck or some shit like that. So we have like progress that, you know, we just rocking it with was just making it do what it do. We just being us and making it pop. So I'm really excited about that. So
I am too.
Shouts to Hey,
I think it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. We're going to see amazing things. We have shows like Black Girl Magic that's happening also that same weekend. We should take a trip to New York, Kane. That same weekend, Jarver Tears is having a 90s version type show happening that same weekend in New York. So there's just so many different things happening, that we're making for the culture. We have Battle Slam that
Battle Slam, that's what
was talking about as well. So it's just kind of like there's so many different things, and you're also seeing it happening in the big promotions. It might not be as much as how we want it, but again, the fact that at one point we did have Sasha, Naomi, Bianca, I might be missing some other people, but
I mean, look, when we were coming up, TK, we had Jacqueline. That was it. We had Miss Jacqueline. We had Jazz and ECW busting heads. We had Jacqueline and WWF.
And how much TV time did they get?
Correct. Even when Jacqueline was women's champion, I mean, I know she got introduced as Mark Merrow's replacement for Sable, and she came in doing her thing. But Miss Texas, Miss Jackie Texas, was a badass bona fide wrestler. I'm happy she got a women's championship run, but whenever was she like that one, like leading, even as champion, it was all about Sable, or we were still doing like the panties and the wedding gown matches and the brown panties matches. Yeah. But now, I mean, that's why sometimes when I see us talk about it, it's like, hey man, we are moving forward. Like, if you've been a lifelong wrestling fan, you know what we've like come from. You know what I mean? Hell, if Triple H and Booker T happened today, Booker T goes over. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like that WrestleMania bout they had, Booker T probably goes over because like we needed that. So, I'm happy to see.
And then we also have Tasha Steelz and Jade. We have like so many women that we can. I mean, this show.
Savannah Evans and Impact. Savannah, like as far as killing it.
Yeah. As far as like interviewing women, there's very few women who've come on the show more than 3 times. Every interview that we had is a new female wrestler, and we've been around. Hogan. Yeah. So there's just so many. So it's we are coming a long way, but on the flip side, we tend to book and hire people that look like us. That's human nature. And the people who run these promotions, the major promotions, don't look like us. So, they're always going to gravitate towards, one thing, and then we have to fight for a little bit more, but we also creating our own tables. So that's also beneficial as well.
You see it now, all the girls showing up with the braids, TK. They got the braids in. All the girls, all hair textures, kind of look weird on some of them, but all the girls showing up with the Bianca braids. So do it for the culture. I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a science to get your hair, especially Black girls' hair, with so many different variations. You need to get it just right, or you need to watch the right YouTube video. But I digress.
Have the right auntie.
With that being said, that marks the end of week number 2. Closing it out with the Kane McCoy. Where can everybody find you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, follow me at CAINMCCOY. I'm out here, man. I'm very excited. Maybe I'll post some pictures of me spending money with my WWE Superstar credit card. What's my credit? What? Oh my gosh. This is going to pay for New York when we go to New York WrestleMania. Just think of the possibilities.
Oh my God. I'm going to cut out that clip and send it to Credit Row, and it's like, yo, you need to come out of pocket for this one.
We're going to be sponsored by them next week. Let's do it. Yes.
Hey, look, I don't mind, because you can never have multiple streams of income is everything. Speaking of that, definitely check out our shirts. We have merch, foryourwear.com, presented by them. Blue, who's another co-host for WWT Live. It's his company, so definitely go and check that out. So we have both our shirts, not just women's wrestling. This is professional wrestling. We ride for Naomi, and our Sasha Banks shirt is going to be coming out next week. So definitely check that out as well. Also, with that being said, I think Nikki put in the post, we have our Jordan Grace interview. It has been up on YouTube, but we have our article to go with that. To go to www.talkpod.com. What are you gonna say?
Oh no, I was trying to figure out where to point to.
Oh, gotcha.
But that's going to point that way, then I decided not to.
Okay. So go to www.talkpod.com, check that out. Go to all our social media platforms, www.talkpod, for everything. Tonight, we have a very crazy week. So right after this show, we have our NXT UK show, which, are you hopping on that, Kane? Are you going to be on that as well?
I have to be on a couple of other Zoom interviews. After adult.
So, okay, yeah, the adulting is no bueno. So I'll be on that show, and then also we're gonna have like just it never ends. Then we're gonna have our NXT UK show, Creep Squad After Dark at 7:30 is happening, and also our Impact show. So check that out. We also have tomorrow our SmackDown show, and then on Sunday we have our Turnbuckle Glam. And then next Monday we start WWT all over again at 3:00 Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with new stories. And there is never it's the problem. There's an abundance of stories. It's the abundance of news qualifying stories. I really don't want WWT to be the place where you find the tweet that we like talk about. I really want this to be where you can get the majority of your news. So that is the goal for us. So if you're seeing some stories that you're seeing popping other places, it's just because I come from a journalist background and I'm trying to keep the integrity of that up. So that is what WWT is about. Other than that, you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Till next time, guys, thank you for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.